Good day, everyone. And once again, we are back together, and your favorite uncle is here once again to give you some good content when it comes to mathematics and physical science. And today, we are just looking at mathematics. And if you haven't subscribed, please just make sure that you are part of this family. All right. And of course, you can always get in touch with us. Our details are on the description of this video. All right, so we've been running a series on, mathematics, just looking at the past exam question paper from June 2021. All right, so I'm going to be looking at the cubic function today. All right, now let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, they say the graph of f of x is 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 12x. Okay, so they've sketched it below. They say A and B are the turning points of the graph, and C, which is 2 and 4, is a point on F. All right, now let's have a look at the questions that were given. All right, they say determine the coordinates of A. So, of course, in this case, they want us to determine the coordinates of the turning points, right? Now, remember, to get the turning point, in fact, let me just write down, first of all, what f of x looks like. Okay, so fx is 2x cubed plus, is it plus? Yeah, plus 3x squared minus 12x plus 3x squared minus 12x, right? Now, this is the original function, but we're looking for the turning points. So we take the derivative and make it equal to 0. Okay, of course, the laws of differentiation in this case. So it's going to be 6x squared plus 6x minus 12. Of course, if you don't know this by now, please just make sure that you go to our videos that we have made on calculus. Okay, right. Now, of course, I can divide by 6 on all terms, right? So divide that by 6. That will give me x squared plus x minus 2, and this will be equal to 0. Okay, so we can factorize that, okay, quite easily. So that will be x and x, that will be 2 and 1. And in this case, we know that the signs will be different if there's a minus sign there. Okay, and of course, the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term. So the bigger product is positive, and that will be negative there. So x is equal to negative 2, or x is equal to 1. Now remember, we're looking for the turning points. So now that we've got the x values of the turning points, how do we get the y values? We're going to substitute the x values into the original equation. Please note that. So that's going to be minus 2. So that's 2 into minus 2 cubed plus that's 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times, sorry, that's negative 2 there, right? That's negative 2. Okay, so we get, so 2 cubed in this case is 8, negative 8 times 2, that will give us minus 16, okay, plus 2 squared is 4, and negative 2 squared is 4 times 3, that will give us 12. And in this case, negative 12 times 2, that will give us 24. All right, so in this case, we've got 12 plus 24, that will give us 36, minus 16, that will give us 20. All right, so, and then we'll go and look at where x is equal to 1. That's 2 times 1 cubed plus 3 times 1 squared minus 12 times 1. Okay, right, let's write that down nicely. Okay, so that will be 2 plus 3 minus 12, and I'm sure you can see how that will give us negative 7. Okay, right, now in this case, what we're looking at, just getting this value in terms of, we're writing it down as a coordinate, right? So in terms of coordinates, we know that we've got A, and please just make sure, always verify that it does correspond with what you see in the picture, right? Of course, we're expecting a positive y value for a. So in this case, we know that the coordinates of a, that's going to be -2 and 20. And of course, the coordinates of b, that's going to be 1 and -7. And of course, our picture kind of tells us the same thing. All right, now let's go into the next one. They say, for which values of x will f be concave up? Now, remember, what differentiates between the points where it is concave up and concave down? Of course, it's what we call the point of inflection, right? So in this case, how do we get the point of inflection? In fact, I want to show you there's an easier way. Okay, so usually when we get the point of inflection, this is 8.2, right? 9.2 rather. Okay, so 9.2. How do we get the point of inflection? Well, we can actually, now that we've got the x value of the turning points, the point of inflection is the midpoint between your turning points. So we can say, well, the x value of the point of inflection will become xa plus xb divided by 2, okay? So that will be -2 plus 1 over 2, and that will give us -1 over 2. So our point of inflection, or the x value of the point of inflection, is -0.5. But of course, the traditional way of getting the point of inflection is taking the double derivative and making it equal to 0. Now, let's see, we already had the derivative somewhere there. So we said it was 6x squared plus 6x minus 12. So in this case, it means that the double derivative will be 12x plus 6, okay? That will be equal to 0. If I take the 6 to the other side, so I've got 12x is equal to -6. And of course, you can see how when you divide by by 12 there, you'll get -1 over 2. Okay, so that's another way of getting the x value of the turning point. If they had said we should find the point of inflection, of course, you'd take this x value and you'll substitute it back into the original, okay, and just work it out over there. But in this case, we're just looking for the x value so that we can determine where the graph starts becoming concave up, right? Now, you'll agree with me, concave up, so it will be from the point of inflection, okay, which is -0.5 somewhere there, okay, all the way up until infinity, it is concave up, okay? So we can say, well, x is an element of, okay, so x is an element of -0.5, okay, -1 over 2, right up until infinity, okay, right? And of course, I'm going to exclude both values there, okay, or otherwise you can say x is greater than -1 over 2, okay, right? So that's another way of getting the point of inflection, right? So for the last question in this section, so they say determine the equation of the tangent of f at c, which is 2 and 4. Right, now please remember, when you find the equation of the tangent, first of all, what must I do? I must find out what the gradient of that tangent is, right? So that would be the gradient of the tangent. So how do I find the gradient? I take the derivative at that particular point. So meaning, okay, I'm going to take the derivative when x is equal to 2, okay, and work it out, okay? Right, so we remember our derivative formula. In fact, let me start by just the derivative. Remember, that was 6x squared plus 6x minus 12, okay? So I'm going to take the derivative where x is equal to 2. So I'm going to substitute 2 there, okay, plus 6 times 2 minus 12, and that would give us, okay, so that's 6 times 4, in that case. All right, so that would be 24. Okay, so I've got 24 plus 12 minus 12. Okay, I see those will cancel and we'll be left with 24. All right, now, so which means that our gradient is 24. So it means that our line will be y is equal to 24x plus c, right? So we are looking for the equation of the tangent. So in this case, now where am I going to find the c value? I'm going to substitute the point 2 and 4, which is c in this case, right? It said c is 2 and 4. So I'm going to substitute that into the original equation, right? Or rather into the straight line formula. So when y is 4, my x is 2. Okay, so in this case I'll get 48 plus c, which is 4. If I take that to the other side, it becomes negative. So c would be equal to minus 44. Okay, so what's my final answer? The equation of the tangent would be y is equals to 24x minus 44. And that's how the cookie crumbles. All right, I hope that you were able to follow that. And this section we've covered quite adequately. If you haven't watched it in our in all our videos, please just jump out of this one and go straight to there. Okay, it's quite a doable section, and you can maximize the amount of marks. Otherwise, ladies and gents, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to tell as many people as possible that we're learning or we're getting good content with your favorite uncle. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Sharp, sharp.